Not all men fail because they lack ambition. Most fail because they lack consistency. They have goals. They speak of them often. They dream. They imagine. They even act, but only when conditions feel perfect. And perfection, my friend, is an illusion crafted by procrastinators. If you are to accomplish anything extraordinary, you must understand this one truth. Your destiny is defined not by what you do occasionally, but by what you do daily. Every man carries within himself the seed of greatness. But seeds do not bloom without discipline. Seeds do not grow when planted and abandoned. They require time, nurturing, sunlight, and most of all, repetition. You can achieve anything you desire in this world, anything, but not without the price. And the price is consistency, repetition in silence, effort without applause, persistence in solitude, the willingness to act even when your emotions beg you to rest. Success does not come to those who start. It comes to those who stay. I have sat across men who held genius in their eyes, brilliance in their minds, talent in their hands, but not a drop of discipline in their behavior. And all their potential, all their gifts crumble beneath inconsistency. Because no amount of intellect can save a man who quits on himself repeatedly. You say you want to be great? Then I ask, are you showing up daily? Are you returning to your craft when the novelty fades? Are you honoring the process even when it feels like nothing is changing? Are you doing what needs to be done when no one's watching? Do not misunderstand. You will not feel motivated every day, but you must still act. For motivation is a mood. Consistency is a decision. The man who chooses the right action regardless of feeling, that man rules his world. This world is not short of ideas. It is short of execution. Millions speak of success, but only a few show up for it daily. They wake early when it's inconvenient. They say no to pleasures that delay their progress. They take the next step even when the path is fogged with uncertainty. They trust not the results they can see, but the foundation they are silently building. And let me be clear, the power of consistency is not just physical. It is deeply psychological. It rewires your identity. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you cast a vote. I am disciplined. I am worthy of success. I am the kind of person who follows through. Over time, those votes form a powerful belief. And belief, my friend, is the architect of reality. A man who believes in himself does not wait for external validation. He acts without applause. He builds without being noticed. He grows in the dark, until one day, like a mighty tree, his roots built in silence give rise to fruit the world cannot ignore. Do not chase overnight success. That is a myth built to distract the impatient. The real transformation happens beneath the surface, in the days you don't feel like doing it, but do it anyway. In the hours where your soul feels tired, but your purpose pulls you forward. That is where greatness is born. You will feel lonely, because very few walk the path of discipline. Many will watch you with confusion. They will not understand why you disappear from distractions, why you rise earlier, why you say no more often. But they do not see the blueprint you are holding. They do not see the life you are designing from the inside out. And you must not explain. You do not need permission. You do not need understanding. All you need is clarity of vision and consistency of action. If you do that, in time, your life will speak so loudly that no words will be required. People often ask me, what is the secret to building unshakable confidence? I tell them, consistency. Not talent, not external praise, not gifts, just repeated action in service of your purpose. Confidence is the reward of those who keep showing up. Confidence is the quiet power of someone who knows they will not betray themselves today or tomorrow. You cannot outsource discipline. No one can give it to you. It must be grown day by day through choices that seem small. But remember, the structure of your life is not built by grand declarations. It is built by the bricks of daily habits. Rise on time. Write the page. Do the reps. Make the call. Finish what you start. Stay focused when it would be easier to distract yourself. These are not small things. These are sacred. These are your declaration to the universe that you are serious about what you say you want. And hear me clearly. You are not weak if you struggle. You are not undisciplined if you fall. What matters is not perfection, it is return. Get back up again and again. Each return is another vote for the version of you that cannot be shaken. That version is built through recommitment, not flawless performance. There will be days you feel like you're not making progress. Days when the work feels invisible. The results are delayed. The silence is deafening. But that is when consistency matters most. Because you are not only building results, you are becoming someone stronger, wiser, more powerful. Trust the process. You do not see the roots growing beneath the surface, but they are. You do not see the inner structures forming, but they are. One day the results will come, and the world will call it sudden, but you will know the truth. You earned it in silence. Never confuse emotion with truth. Your emotions will lie. They will say, it's not working. It doesn't matter. You can skip this one time. But truth is constant. Every action builds your foundation. Every choice matters. You are always becoming something. The question is what? Discipline is how you shape that answer. And discipline is not brutality. It is devotion. It is the highest form of love, the kind that says, I will not betray myself today. The world is filled with distracted men. Men pulled by dopamine, drowned in comparison, scattered by attention they never earned. But the consistent man is different. He is anchored, not by force, but by intention, and intention is power. When you move with clarity, distractions lose their grip. When you move with purpose, your energy multiplies. You no longer need to fake motivation. You are moved by what you are becoming. Your potential is not hidden from you. It is waiting for you to be loyal to it. And loyalty is not loud. It does not seek reward. It does not perform. It simply repeats. And if you repeat what matters long enough, you will rise. Not because of praise, not because of luck, but because consistency bends the world to your will. Success cannot resist a person who does the right thing long enough. That is the law. That is the truth. And that truth does not change. Even when you feel tired, discouraged, or unsure, every time you act with intention, you are winning. Even when you cannot see the victory, especially then, because those who win in silence are the ones who rise with power. Be one of them. You must understand by now, the ones who go the farthest are not the most gifted, but the most committed. They are not the loudest, not the most celebrated, not the most followed or praised. They are simply those who decided, I will not stop. Let the world chase applause. Let them count followers and moments of popularity. The man of consistency does not move for noise. He moves for vision. He acts not to be seen, but because he knows exactly where he is going. And more importantly, he knows why. Your why must be deeper than approval. It must be stronger than convenience. Because every day, something will try to pull you off course. Laziness, doubt, criticism, fatigue. But if your reasons are rooted in truth, you will stand tall while others fall. Don't look for shortcuts. They are mirages, empty promises that lead to delay and dependence. You cannot bypass the climb. You cannot fast-track personal growth. True consistency requires that you walk every step, not skip, not jump, not borrow. Walk. And each step walked, however slow, builds strength, because the value of the destination lies in what you became on the journey. I've seen people ask for the secrets of success as if it's a hidden code. But the truth is not hidden. It is avoided because it is simple, and people fear simplicity. They want magic. But magic is just discipline repeated until the world calls it mastery. You want results, then you must build systems. You want freedom, then you must build structure. You want peace, then you must become loyal to order. And the only way to build that order is through consistency. Do not be seduced by how others move. Some people sprint for a season. They look impressive, loud, fast, but they burn out because they never learn to walk with intention. And success is not a race. It's an endurance. It's how long you can stay faithful to the fundamentals. While others change paths, change plans, change principles, you remain rooted. While others chase novelty, you chase excellence. And excellence is not built on feeling good. It is built on doing what matters, whether or not it feels good. Because feelings are not facts. They are weather. They change. But purpose is the compass. Purpose guides when the skies go dark. Purpose drives when there's no one cheering. Purpose is the fire that outlasts storms. So ask yourself, what is the purpose that drives you? And are you aligning with it every single day? If not, begin now. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Begin now. Start small, but start with force. Set your morning. Set your evening. Set your non-negotiables. Write them, commit to them, and live them without needing to talk about them. Consistency is quiet. It does not announce itself. It does not need celebration. It builds silently. And then suddenly it erupts into visible success. But understand, consistency will cost you. It will cost you comfort. It will cost you old habits. It will cost you the identity you wore when you were casual, unfocused, emotional. And that is a good thing. Because the version of you that achieves greatness is not the version of you that delays and doubts. It is the version that acts when it's hard. That shows up when it's inconvenient. That keeps going when no one claps. Don't wait for support. Build with your own hands. Don't wait for inspiration. Build your own fire. Don't wait for signs. You are the sign. And do not ask others to understand your path. It was not given to them. It was given to you. That vision, that dream, that silent knowing in your gut, that belongs to you. Protect it. Guard it. Work for it. Because dreams are not realized in grand gestures. They are realized in mundane acts repeated with focus. You sharpen your blade not by swinging it once, but by grinding it over time. So grind. And grind with gratitude. Let's speak of time again. Not as the enemy, but as the currency. Time is the great revealer. It multiplies everything. If you plant inconsistency, time will multiply regret. But if you plant consistent action, even humble, quiet, unseen, time will multiply the harvest. And when it comes, people will say, you're lucky, that you had a breakthrough, that you were gifted. But you will know, no, it was not luck. It was not chance. It was the quiet compounding of every early morning. every delayed gratification, every hard choice made when ease was available. That's why you must detach from praise. Praise will come and praise will go. But your work, that must remain. Work is what frees you. Routine is what guides you. Repetition is what transforms you. You do not become strong by accident. You become strong by intention sustained over time. Don't compare yourself to others. That is the path of destruction. You don't know their battles. They don't know yours. Your only competition is who you were yesterday. If you have become more consistent than that man, you are winning. If you have taken one step further than you did last week, you are evolving. And let me remind you of this. Even when you feel stuck, even when it seems like progress is invisible, if you are staying consistent, you are moving. Growth is not always seen. Sometimes it's happening beneath the surface, like roots deepening, preparing to hold the weight of a life that can no longer be shaken. You are being fortified not for comfort but for impact. The world is full of people who started, but very few who stayed. So be the one who stays. Be the one who returns. Be the one who pushes past the temptation to stop. You don't need to go fast. You need only to go forward. Every day. One action. One choice. One page. One workout. 1 hour. Done with presence. Done with purpose. Soon, that small act becomes your identity. And that identity becomes unstoppable. You must also protect your energy, because inconsistency thrives in distraction. Do not drain your life force on what adds no value. Limit the noise. Distance yourself from chaos. Stay grounded. Choose stillness. Choose solitude. That is where the builder's mind is forged. Consistency doesn't just change your results, it changes your center. It makes you harder to rattle, easier to focus, quicker to recover, and slower to react. That is the kind of power no one can give you. You must earn it. You earn it by doing what's required, not what's convenient. You earn it by showing up after a setback. You earn it by not needing to prove yourself to anyone because you've already proven yourself to yourself. And that kind of certainty is magnetic. When you carry yourself with the posture of someone who doesn't need to be validated, but who is deeply grounded in their own discipline, the world notices. Not because you're loud, but because consistency is felt. It is an energy that speaks louder than any words. You've heard people talk of overnight success, but now you know better. Success is not overnight. Success is every night. The nights you stayed up and worked. The nights you read instead of scrolled. The nights you trained, studied, built, refined. When the world was asleep, you were preparing. And now you must continue. Not because it's easy, but because the alternative, inconsistency, regret, unrealized potential is no longer acceptable. You were not made for comfort. You were not made for mediocrity. You were made to pursue something real. And anything real requires time, sacrifice, and consistency. So let others chase the temporary. You stay focused on the eternal. Let others drift with trends. You stay anchored in principle. Let others pause when it's hard. You push through. You do the work. You honor the process. You outlast them all, because you are not trying to impress. You are trying to build, and builders don't stop when it's hard. They keep going until the structure stands, and then they keep going, because the truly consistent man does not stop when the goal is reached. He understands that consistency is not only for creation, it is for maintenance, for protection, for evolution. The habits that built the result are the same habits that will preserve it, and the same habits that will elevate it further. You do not stop watering a tree because it has grown. You do not stop sharpening your blade because it is sharp. The master never stops refining, because mastery is not an arrival, it is a lifestyle. And what makes the consistent man different is not his circumstances, but his relationship with difficulty. He does not see hardship as an enemy, but as an invitation to rise. He knows that pressure does not break him, it reveals him. And with each repetition, he proves once more, I am still here. I am still building. I am still moving forward. Look around. People are addicted to stimulation, quick wins, instant proof. But the one who can delay gratification, the one who can work deeply, steadily, without constant reward, that is the one who becomes untouchable. Most people begin with excitement, but excitement fades. Emotion is fleeting. And when that fire dies, so do their actions. But not you, not the consistent man. Because he doesn't need to be on fire to move, he only needs to remember his promise. Discipline is born the moment you stop asking yourself how you feel and start asking yourself what must be done. And let me be perfectly clear, you will not always be motivated. You will not always feel strong. Some days you will feel like you're going backward. Some days you will fail to meet your own standards. But if you stay consistent through those storms, you will come out 10 times stronger. Why? Because while others are rebuilding momentum from scratch, you're preserving yours. While others are chasing motivation, you're training commitment. While others stop to explain, you're too busy doing. That's why the most powerful man in the room is rarely the loudest. He is the one whose life speaks. The one whose presence is earned through years of self-respect, repetition, and focus. He doesn't need to raise his voice because his results speak volumes. So ask yourself now, how do you want to be known? Not in words, but in energy. Do you want to be someone who talks about growth or someone who embodies it? Because the truth is, your habits reveal your belief system. If your actions are inconsistent, it's because your faith in your future is still negotiable. But when you truly believe in the life you are building, your actions stop fluctuating. They become non-negotiable. You wake up not because it's easy, but because it's required. You do the work not because someone's watching, but because you are watching. You live in alignment not to impress, but to protect what you're becoming. And understand this, no one is coming to force consistency upon you. No one is going to drag you to greatness. It must be self-imposed, self-directed, self-honored. And you are capable of this because inside you exists something stronger than resistance, stronger than laziness, stronger than distraction. It is your inner will, and it only awakens through repetition. You don't become a warrior in the spotlight. You become one through daily battles with yourself, with excuses, with doubt, with delay. Every time you win those inner wars, even by a small margin, you sharpen your edge. You raise your standard. You deepen your resilience. And do not underestimate the power of small victories. You may think a single day of follow-through is nothing. A single disciplined meal, a single workout, a single hour of focused study. But these are bricks. Stack them daily, and soon you will build a fortress so strong no storm can shake it. This is the power of consistency. It compounds. It is invisible at first, but unstoppable over time. And it creates something even more valuable than results. It creates trust in yourself. When you are consistent, you begin to respect your own word. You stop breaking promises to yourself. You stop compromising your potential. You stop living in cycles of start and stop, of boom and bust. You finally stabilize. You finally align. And from that place of alignment, anything is possible. Because when a man fully believes in his ability to follow through, there are no more limits. Obstacles become puzzles. Delays become tests. And success becomes a question of when, not if. So if you find yourself doubting, pause. Breathe. Return to action. You do not need to feel powerful to take the next step. You just need to take it. Clarity doesn't come from thinking. It comes from doing. Confidence doesn't come from wishing. It comes from evidence. Purpose doesn't appear through theory. It appears through movement. And movement is always available to you. You do not need permission. You do not need the perfect plan. You need one thing: consistent execution. There are people right now with less talent than you, less opportunity than you, less education than you. But they're winning. Not because they have more, but because they do more reliably. They don't get derailed every time they feel discomfort. They don't abandon their path when it stops being exciting. They keep walking. And the path opens up to those who walk long enough. This is the truth few want to hear. Consistency is not glamorous. It is not viral. It will not always feel inspiring. But it is the difference between a life of regret and a life of fulfillment. Because the person you become from consistent action is someone no failure can destroy. Someone no storm can shake. Someone who has depth. And depth is rare. But depth is powerful. So keep going. Keep writing. Keep building. Keep training. Keep refining. Keep showing up. Even when tired. Even when ignored. Even when uncertain. Even when unseen. Even when doubted. Especially when doubted. Because when you choose consistency over and over again, you're not just building a better life. You are becoming a different being. One who is not led by the outer world, but anchored in the inner one. And I promise you that transformation will outlast any external reward. You do not need to be perfect. You only need to be present in this hour, in this choice, in this moment. Because greatness is not somewhere far away. It is built here, now, one step at a time. You don't need to catch up to anyone. You only need to outlast your former self. And if today you did that even slightly, then you are winning. And if tomorrow you do it again, even silently, then you are evolving. And if you do that for 1 year, 5 years, a lifetime, you will become undeniable. And one day when people ask how you did it, you won't need to say much. You'll simply say, I didn't quit. I showed up. I stayed consistent. And that was everything. Because in the end, your success will not be defined by how loudly you moved, but by how faithfully you followed through. Not by the moments you were celebrated, but by the moments you were alone and still chose to persist. Not by how the world saw you, but by how you saw yourself when no one else was watching. You will look back one day not to admire your trophies, but to thank yourself for the choices that were unseen. For the days you got up without applause. For the nights you kept going with no audience. For the quiet mornings where you turned away from distraction and turned inward toward your goal. And you'll realize this version of you, the strong one, the focused one, the grounded one, was not born in motivation. It was forged in consistency. You will understand that power is not granted. It is built one disciplined hour at a time, one intentional breath at a time, one uncelebrated, unseen act of commitment after another. And perhaps, just perhaps, that is the greatest reward of all. Not the money, not the praise, not the title, but the unshakable peace that comes from knowing I did not betray myself. That is the highest form of success. The version of you that keeps showing up, that protects your mission like something sacred. That keeps moving forward, even when the noise disappears, even when the path narrows, even when the light dims. That version is real. That version is permanent. That version cannot be broken. So if you hear nothing else I've said, hear this. You do not rise by chance. You rise by choice. And the most powerful choice you will ever make is the choice to remain consistent, not until it's hard, not until you're bored, not until you doubt, but until you become. So push yourself, push without drama, push without fear, push without needing praise. Push until one day the world says, I don't know what changed, but they are different now. And you'll smile. Because you will know. Nothing changed in a moment. Everything changed in a process. And that process was built in silence by a mind that refused to quit, a heart that stayed steady, a soul that said, I will keep going, not for attention, but for alignment, because you didn't want to impress the world. You wanted to become the kind of person who never gives up on what truly matters. And now you are.